everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Michael. I'm a wildlife and nature photographer based in the Netherlands, and today's topic is tripod and tripod heads. Why a good tripod is so important for your photography and why it can help you elevate your photography to the next level. And also I just want to help you guys a little bit to avoid the mistakes that I made in the past, to buy the wrong gear or to buy the wrong head, because yeah, everything's already really expensive in photography world. So if I can help you guys a little bit to make the right decision, my mission is succeeded. Before we go further, I suggest to grab yourself a cup of coffee because it could be potentially a little bit boring video, so apologies for that, but I just want to help you guys to make the right decision if you are in the market for a tripod. Without further ado, why a tripod is so important. A good tripod lets you slow down, so it's not only to give stability on your tripod to make a landscape photo or make a video or something like that. It's also to slow down. For example, if I go out and I only go out with my Nikon 180-600, I always have a kind of rush because it's much, yeah, you are much more mobile, so you can move around to the right, to the left, up, down much faster, and therefore these movements can scare little birds that you didn't saw because you're going too fast. Therefore, if you use a tripod, you put your tripod down, you spend more time to frame your shots, you'll be more selective, so your composition are better if you use a tripod. It doesn't take away that it's really fun to handheld lenses like this and just run around and enjoy nature, and certainly keep doing it because you also can get shots which you don't get with tripod. But I always feel when I look at the pictures that this last 10-20% is really coming from using a tripod. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy to see this picture, this quality is going up. Yeah, and then I forget always like the downside of using a tripod, and is carrying all this heavy gear into nature. So yeah, handhelding is a lot of fun, but this last 10-20%, therefore I always carry my, most of the time I carry my tripod. The thing what I see often on my workshops is that we put a lot of thinking and thought behind buying a camera or buying a lens, and then we spend a lot of money for that. But when it comes to tripods, we do the opposite thing. Mostly we buy the first one we see. We buy a tripod that's on sale and is nice and cheap, and therefore we don't use it because it's not simply not matching our needs. And that's why I think the tripod is a little bit a bad name, because tripod have also their feature sets. What kind of material is it made of? Is it metal or is it carbon? Does it have like big knobs that you can use it with gloves, or have it small knobs and it is like more compact? What are your needs? Like a landscape photographer have different needs than macro photographer and a wildlife and nature photographer. So I suggest if you buy a tripod, go to the shop and really test it out. Check what kind of feature sets a tripod have, what kind of material it is heavy or it is light, because not always the lightest option is the best option, because if you have landscapes, you want to have the least vibrations and you want to have a little bit more of a heavier tripod. If you do a lot of video with bigger lenses, you also search for a little bit more heavier tripod because it keeps the whole things more stable. So this is the thing what I a lot of times see on my workshops, is that people just buy a tripod and they don't use it because it simply doesn't fit their needs. And therefore it just stay home, and this cheap tripod is then, I think in my mind, a little bit more expensive because you simply don't use it. So yeah, tripods. Really go to the shop and check physically in the shop what you're going to buy. Now, this is for the tripod part. The thing is that also you have different kind of tripod heads. The ball head. Ball head is I think the most versatile of all heads, because you can do everything with it. It doesn't mean that it does everything good, but you can use it for almost everything. You can use it really good for macro photography, you can use it good for landscape photography, even you can use it with longer lenses. And I'll show you a little tip that you can even make your ball head into a gimbal style head, but later on this more. But a ball head is, I think, also the thing what most people buy in a kit, so everybody starts with this one. What it is simply a ball in a socket, and this ball is just moving around, so you can manipulate in all directions at the same time, and you have one big knob to loose a little bit, and then you can move it around how you want, to the front, to the left, to the side, so you can really manipulate your composition easily. And also, if your tripod is not leveled on the ground, you can just make your horizon really fast leveled, and some of them have even the option that you can make like a panorama shot, so you level it out, you make it like leveled, water leveled, and then you just move it like on the horizon to make a panorama shoot. It's a really versatile head, and I think this is something where you need to start with as a beginning photographer, because you can do almost everything with it. The thing with longer lenses is that, and this is the downside from a ball head, if you just this one is relatively big and strong, but if you lose the knob a little bit and you let it go, you see that these longer lenses fall. Now, of course, I don't have a camera behind it because I make the video on this one, but if I let it go, it just fall to all sides, to the left, to the right. It doesn't have any support whatsoever, so I really need to hold my lens, and therefore I can just use it without really lifting the lens, but I need to support it. What you can do with longer lenses is that most ball heads have like a little spare cut out on the side. If you put it to the side, then you can like leave your big lens hanging on the side of your tripod, your ball head, and then it becomes a little bit like a kind of gimbal style head. It's not ideal, because if I show you guys a little bit, and what means it's off-centered, so now I have a relatively lightweight lens, more of this because this is something special, but it's off-centered, so if I have a little bit of uneven ground, it's really risky because it can fall easily. And especially if I use my big 600 f4 prime, a lot of weight is on the side, is not centered, and it's just prone to fall. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of using that like that. If I really go out with my big lenses, I tend to use a different style of head. But yeah, you can use a ball head for a lot of things. It's compact, it's relatively cheap to buy. Of course, if you have a higher end model like a Gitzo or a 3 like a thing, or a really right stuff, there you pay a lot of money, but it's a piece of quality and you can spend almost your whole life with it. So yeah, a ball head, little summary of everything. You can use it for almost everything. It's not great at everything. Especially if you do wildlife and nature photography, it's not really the best option what you could think of. But the second option is the gimbal. Now, I don't have it on a tripod yet, because I use my third tripod to make the video on, so apologies for that, but I can show you I think in a good way to what the advantages and disadvantages of the gimbal head is. This one is made for photography with longer lenses. It's not really versatile, it's really more specialized. So if you do a lot of wildlife and you use longer lenses and you do mainly photography, I think this is the best option. It's relatively lightweight compared to a fluid head. And it's also really nice to operate. It's really easy because you have two knobs. And before, if you balance everything correctly, so you put your big lens in the middle, you balance it that if you move it, it stays in this direction. So the center of gravity you put exactly in the middle of your gimbal. Then it's super easy to operate because you have only one knob in the front that allows you to swing your vertical position of your lens, and then you have a knob here on the side that allows you to move it around on a horizontal way. It's also nice in the middle, so it's nice centered on your tripod, so you don't have this weight what you have on the ball head that it can fall over or tip over. And also, and therefore I think I use this one at most, because if I use this one, or when I use this one, I use it always on my ground pot, and you see that the height of the gimbal is really low to the ground, so I can make really low to the ground pictures. If I use a video head what is much higher, you can see it here already, it's much higher and much bigger, I'm already much more from the ground, so I don't use it as much on my tripod or like on my ground pot. later on this one more, because I think it's really nice to make one yourself, and it's really cheap and it's also really fun to use. But yeah, gimbal is really perfect when you do a lot of photography with big lenses, and I specifically say photography because if you use it for video you can use it, but it's not really great at it. And why? Because if you lose this everything up and you pan around, there is almost no resistance in it, so it's really easy. Almost you can turn it on its own axle with one finger, and when you release it, it even go a little bit further. So it's just really almost frictionless. And without this friction, you don't have the same speed where you can do your panning with. And therefore, if you make video on a gimbal, you always see a little bit jittery movement. So it's always a little bit shocking, like shockery movement, jittery, shocking, something like that. So it's a little bit not nice to look at looking at this video. So yes, you can use it for video, but it's not great at it. It's not so smooth. It's not too when you watch it, it's not so pleasing for your eye. So yeah, fantastic for photography with longer lenses. Not that great at video, and I think also not really great for landscapes, because yeah, it's really difficult to center or like balance everything, or make like minor adjustments, because yeah, you know, everything is a little bit more like suited for longer lenses. So yeah, perfect for photography. So if you are a wildlife photographer with longer lenses and you search for a option what is relatively lightweight and easy to operate, gimbal is really nice to use. And it was also the first like style head what I use with my longer lenses. But only nowadays I'm shooting more and more video. So the last one, a video head. A video head I nowadays use the most because my needs change. Of course, my YouTube channel, I want to make more videos. Also for my work itself, I need to make more video. So yeah, in the past I used my gimbal for 90% photography and maybe a little bit 10% video, perfect. But for 50% video, 50% photography, you really need a video head, because it's just much nicer to operate and it's just giving much better results in video. And also funny is that you can use a video head or fluid head really nicely for photography. So for my needs now, this is the best option overall. It's not perfect in some ways, but for me this is come the closest for what I need or for what I want in a tripod head. But the thing is, with video you also need to check what kind of base you use, because the video demands a little bit like heavier tripods, because you don't want to have this movement all the time, because if it's a little bit of wind standing, it's already moving, especially with a bigger lens, because it's catching the wind. So if you already planning for yourself to do more video, really buy a sturdy base tripod. So don't look at the lighter versions, better have a little bit heavier ones. So you have a really good base, a solid base to put your video head on. So if you have gimbal and you do more photography, you can come away with a little bit less heavy tripods, but for video you need to spend a little bit more on the kilos, because yeah, it's simply you need have this like that is stopping the movement and stopping also the wind and everything. I use the Benro Mammoth. Also, I bought everything with my own money, so I'm not sponsored by any of these brands. All these brands have nice products. Manfrotto, Gitzo, Leophoto, Benro. All these brands are really nice. They have really good products. So check out in the store, buy something what you want, so you don't have to follow my my exact advice in this. But for this fluid head, it's a different thing, because I think it's pure gold, this one. This is an older version, and you still can find it on Amazon or eBay. And this is the Benro WH-15, and it has some features that other video heads don't have. Even in higher price class, they don't have these features. And I really love this one. I'm really happy with this one. Let me start at the beginning. Why I love it so much? Because the mounting plate is an Arca Swiss style. Um, you have a Manfrotto style, you have a quick release style of other ones, and you have an Arca Swiss. And Arca Swiss, I think, is the most used universal one, because it's almost come in all of your mounting plates. And this one you can just directly with my feet from the lens, I can put directly on this fluid head, But most fluid heads you need to put a bigger plate underneath and then it fits in the fluid head. And Manfrotto have their own like plate, so you need to put a Manfrotto plate underneath. So it's also really a little bit cumbersome to use. It adds weight, it adds something extra to bring with you. So yeah, therefore I really love this Benro fluid head because I can just directly mount the Arca Swiss into this mounting plate and I'm done. So this one is a really big plus for me already. Also this combination, it's having a ball plate. It's montaged on a ball plate, and why it's so important, especially for your video, is, for example, if you are in Africa and you're following a lion is running, you want to follow this lion, of course, across the horizon. But if your ground is not leveled and you're not centered and it's a little bit off, if you're following, then you will see that your horizon is going up or down. You don't follow the lion anymore, but you go into the sky with your video. And therefore it's always really important with video to level your head exactly with the ground. And this one has the option that I can just loose up this knob underneath and I can tilt the whole system, the whole fluid head I can tilt to make it like water leveled on the ground. And after that I can just do my panning and I can just easily have everything nice in the frame without that my horizon going up or down. So if you do a lot of planning, do a lot of video, really check out something would have a ball plate montaged in, or that you have a tripod where you can do this. You have systems that you could put on top of or between your smaller plate, and you can put it up, but only it makes it a little bit higher everything. This one is built in, so I really love this system. So this is an important thing to remember. If you want to buy a fluid head, you also need to make sure that you have a option to level your tripod without that you need to put all your legs out and need to fight with the legs, because yeah, this is a relatively heavy setup. If I need to put legs out, I'm fighting with it, and simply this is really cumbersome to use. So this is a really nice thing to have. So Arca Swiss, I have this ball plate already. The next thing is, if you're shooting with a smaller lens, it's less demanding for your fluid head, because a fluid head or a video head is called like that because it gives resistance. If you move it around, you press the liquid inside, you press and it is giving some resistance. Then if you leave, for example, your camera and lens up, exactly the same like the gimbal, it stays up because you have like a balancing force that works against it. With this big wheel I can turn it, and then I can just make it that it's like exactly the same force what I need for my lens and my camera. And then it stays like exactly the way how I leave it. So if I have an owl in a tree and I want to make a video about that, I don't have to like point it at it and lock it tight and then leave it, and then if it's moving around I need to unlock it and then following it again. I don't have this. I just leave it like that and I don't have to touch it anymore, and it's perfect. So if you're going to search for a fluid head, make sure that the balancing force of the fluid head is right for what kind of lens you use. If you're a small lens, you can use a like a fluid head with like less balancing power. This one is easily suitable for this big lens because it's like half power. Because if I dial in like the strongest force against it, then it's just leveling itself. So it's not staying upright anymore, but it's just leveling itself. So yeah, therefore I think this is really nice because it's a relatively compact even tripod or tripod head, but it's balancing my big 600 f4 prime easily. Now, the other thing from this fluid head is that, and I think a lot of fluids have this, that the knobs are really big. So if I have gloves on and I'm in, like for example, the end of this year, I'm in Norway in Dovrefjell, then I can operate this whole tripod or the whole tripod head with gloves on. And it's really easy to just operate everything, big knobs, and everything is really easy to operate. So if you know for yourself that you go into the Arctic or into like colder climates, find something with bigger knobs because it's really important. Now, also what a nice thing is about fluid heads is if you panning around, you also push this fluid around. Therefore, it gives you resistance. If you have your gimbal and you want to make a video, it will be this jittery movement. With a fluid head, I can take the handle out and I can make really beautiful smooth transitions and to follow an animal or something. So it's fantastically smooth footage, and I really love to watch that. You know, it just really carefully can manipulate your frame, and therefore it's really nice to look at this footage. So yeah, a fluid head has the downside that it's like the gimbal, you cannot really use it for landscapes. Because yeah, you have only this movement and this movement, but yeah, then you need to level your like your fluid head with this knob underneath. So yeah, but if you want to make a vertical shoot, how you need to montage then. So it's really difficult to use a fluid head for landscape photography. So you see every single like tripod head have its downsides and up, or like the pluses. Um, but fluid head for me personally is the nicest one because I can use it for my photography easily, because I can manipulate the frame really easy. I can make my videos on it, and also if I just loose up my tripod or my mount from the lens, I just loosen it up, then I can just rotate it on a vertical way, so I can make also vertical movements or make vertical shots, and it's just super balanced. So yeah, this is the thing what I really love about this combination. It's Arca Swiss, so I don't need to montage different plates, nothing, and everything is built in right away. So I suggest, if you are searching for a tripod head, figure first out what kind of photography, videography, what your needs are in this, and then search something what it suits you the best. And to be honest, pay a little bit extra on a tripod. It's really something to worthwhile to invest in, because it pays you back, because you're going to use it, you're going to enjoy it. It lasts you a really long time, because if you take care of your tripod, and I will make a video about that, how you need to take care of a tripod, therefore you can just enjoy it much longer, and then it's not that a big of an investment anymore if you use it for 15-20 years. And also, yeah, you know, if you buy some quality, it's so not much nicer to operate it in the field, and therefore you're going to use it more and have more like enjoyment from it. So yeah, it's a long video. I have a dry mouth from talking about it. I hope you guys like the video, and you hope you guys like that I make this kind of videos a little bit more, because I just want to help you to make the right decisions in what kind of gear you need to buy, or maybe the best gear, what do you need, like what you need. So yeah, if you have some ideas for next videos, or you think, hey Michael, maybe you can explain me something from something else, put it in the comments. I will try to make a video about it also. I just want to make like a series of this kind of thing, because this kind of gear is also coming with me to Norway the end of the year, to Dovfjell. So therefore you also will see this back. Also, maybe nice to mention is that I have now this one for on loan from OM System. I can test it like for 5 weeks with an OM1. I make the video now with OM1 just to test it out. I'm really curious about it. I already have a few trips with it. Photography wise, I really love the lens already. But I will make a review soon about this, and with like pictures and a little bit of field footage and things like that. So yeah, stay tuned for more. And for now, I say have a nice time, and I see you next time.